Good morning, CC families. This is Cycle 3, Week 13. I'm Mrs. Shannon, and we're going to start with English this morning. So I have made these books for my kids, and I have 4 and 5-year-olds, so I like them to have some writing practice. We're going to do to beat today. So I'm going to have them write to beat up here on this horizontal line. And then we're still gonna do the same song to the tune if you're happy and you know it. So I'm gonna give them a chance to write it. Some of them like to trace the other tenses as well, which is awesome. I let them do that if they want to. And then we're gonna sing the song like this. It goes, to beat, beat, beats, beat, beating, beaten. 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 And I made this little drum too, just like a little plastic cup, and I put a balloon on it. And so I'm gonna give them each one and they can sing as they kind of beat on their drum. So to beat, beat, beats, beat, beating, beaten. So you can do that for fun. That is English. Oh, and I have these little body stickers still, even though we're technically moved on from the body with science. I have more and think they're really cute. Like this is intestines and the heart. So I'm gonna give them a few more body stickers to put on the front of their book this week. I've decorated the front of each kid's book with their name, and I give them a sticker each week after we do English. So by the end, they'll have 24 plus stickers on their book. So that is English. And then next for timeline, I have these timeline cards. I put these letters on the top of each one each week just because I have 4 and 5-year-olds. It helps them identify the event. And what I'm going to do this week, I did this once before, but I am going to have one student go out of the room, and then I'm going to give 1 or 2 timeline cards to another student to hide. And so the one who went out of the room doesn't know where they are, obviously, but everybody else in the room is going to know where they're hidden. And so then we're going to have the person come back when they're hidden, and we're going to tell them, okay, we're going to sing the timeline song together. If we sing it louder, that means you're closer to where the timeline cards are hidden. If we get softer, that means you're farther away from it. So obviously I'll strongly lead this at the beginning, but then hopefully they'll be able to join me as we do it a few times with the timeline song. So for example, like, if they hit age of exploration, the student comes in, then we start singing the song Age of Exploration, circa 1400 to circa 1600, and then if they're getting closer, it'll be Prince Henry founds School of Navigation, like really loud, and then if they get farther away from it, slave trade in Africa, Gutenberg's printing press, etc. So it's basically like I have to do most of it, but most of the singing, because the kids don't know it super well yet. But when I did it before, they started joining in with me after we had done it a few times, and they just think this is so fun. So I'm gonna have, each kid have a chance to go outside. Each kid had a chance to hide a timeline card. And so each time we'll sing the song louder or softer, depending on where they are in relation to it. So it gives us a lot of practice to sing the song too. And then afterwards, I'll have 7 pieces of painter's tape on the wall, and I'll give each kid 1 or 2 timeline cards, depending on how many kids I have, and I'll have them put them up on the wall in order, and then we'll go over the motions together. So I'll have the kids stand in front of one of the timeline cards, and we'll go over the motions. So Age of Exploration, we're gonna go like this. And then Prince Henry founds, so we're gonna do a P, like a sash. Prince Henry founds. And then School of Navigation, like I'm driving a car. School of Navigation, slave trade in Africa. So we're gonna like bound our arms. And then Gutenberg, so I'm gonna do a G, and then I'm gonna act like I'm printing. So Gutenberg's printing press, Shanghai, I'm gonna make an S, and then go like this, Shanghai in Africa, and then Sir Ivan, so make an I, the Great of Russia. I'm gonna touch my hips, and then the Spanish, I'm gonna touch my shoulders and then link my fingers. Spanish Inquisition. Okay, so I'll try to do it one more time to kind of the tune. Age of exploration, circa 1400 to circa 1600. Prince Henry founds School of Navigation, slave trade in Africa. Gutenberg's printing press, Shanghai in Africa, like that. Sir Ivan the Great of Russia, Spanish Inquisition. So that is timeline this week. For geography this week, we're gonna do the Western Mountains. And so I have these mountains highlighted on my map here. So the Rocky Mountains are in blue, and then we've got Pikes Peak is in the pink one, and then Mount Elbert's the orange one, and we've got the Sierra Nevadas, and Mount Whitney is the purple one. So I'm gonna have these already prepped, already kind of outlined for my students before the class starts. And then I'm gonna have them outline the shape of the United States with dry erase marker. And I give them these little erasers just for fun, they love them. And as we sing the song, I'm going to have them point to each one. And I'll probably have them point to each one before we actually do the song too, just to kind of know where they are, and then we'll try to do it to the song. So we're gonna do the same song we've been doing the last couple weeks. It includes all the mountains. It's to the tune, She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain. And so I'm gonna sing starting with week, I believe it's week 11, and then I'll include this week. So it goes like this. And it's to the tune, She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain. Northern Appalachian Mountains, White Mountains, Green Mountains, Adirondack Mountains, Allegheny Mountains, Northern Appalachian Mountains, Southern Appalachian Mountains, the Great Valley, Blue Ridge Mountains, Great Smoky Mountains, Cumberland Mountains, Mount Mitchell, Southern Appalachian Mountains, Western Mountains, Rocky Mountains, Pikes Peak, Mount Elbert, Sierra Nevadas, Mount Whitney. And then it keeps going. So that is geography this week. And I'll probably, again, sing the whole song for them kind of as they're coloring in their mountains and encourage them to sing along with me. So I'll sing it one more time, the whole entire song, since I didn't sing the last week just now. And I also have these little mountains that I'll probably have, maybe if I feel like it'd be still be good to have something to do, I'll have them march around the table carrying a mountain as we sing the mountain song. So again, I'll do it one more time, starting at week 11. Northern Appalachian Mountains, White Mountains, Green Mountains, Adirondack Mountains, Allegheny Mountains, Northern Appalachian Mountains, Southern Appalachian Mountains, the Great Valley, Blue Ridge Mountains, Great Smoky Mountains, Cumberland Mountains, Mount Mitchell, Southern Appalachian Mountains, Western Mountains, Rocky Mountains, Pikes Peak, Mount Elbert, Sierra Nevadas, Mount Whitney, Northwest Mountains, Cascade Mountains, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, Denali. So that is through week 14 for the mountains. So that is geography this week. And after geography, we are going to do math. So we're talking about liquid equivalents some more. I have this printable from Kimberly that I'm going to show my kids, and I might bring in some actual, different examples of these amounts of liquid equivalents just to show them. So I also made these last week, and I am going to give these to the kids again. We're going to do it again, and then I'm going to send these home with them. So I'll link where I found these. But I just laminated them, cut out these little guys so they could Velcro and match the liquid equivalent. So I'm going to have these in a little baggie and then let them match them and help them do that. And then we're going to sing this song together. I think it's to the tune of Alice the Camel, but if you know differently and can tell me in the comments, that'd be awesome. So it goes like this. 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons equal 1 fluid ounce. 8 fluid ounces equal 1 cup. 2 cups equal 1 pint. 2 pints equal 1 quart. 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. So we'll sing that song. I'll have them match, put their Velcro little pieces on to match them, and then I'll give them this to take home so they can keep kind of reviewing it at home. So that is math this week. And then for, for history, we are gonna do silly words again. I have this printable from Kimberly I'll probably put on my board, and I'll tell them, okay, I'm gonna read the history sentence normally the first time, so listen really carefully, because then I'm gonna read it again, I might mess up and say some silly words, and you have to tell me if you hear one. So I'll say, in 1868, the 14th Amendment made all former slaves U.S. citizens and paved the way for the civil rights movement. And then I'll say, okay, I'm gonna try it again, but I might say a silly word or two, and if you hear me, raise your hand. So, in 1868, the 4,000th Amendment, what? Not 4,000th, what should it be? Oh, 14th. Okay, so 14th Amendment. In 1868, the 14th Amendment made all farmer slaves, not farmer, former. So each time I'm gonna read it the right way until the new silly word, so they're gonna hear it the right way a lot. So in 1868, the 14th Amendment made all former slaves U.S. citizens. So I try to rhyme the words. And then instead of, way, I do maize. And then instead of civil rights, I do shovel rights. And then instead of movement, I do nugget. So they just love this. So I'll probably keep doing this the whole year because they love it. And then I'm gonna give them this printable from Etsy coloring page that they can take home to color. I'll link below where I found that too. So that is history this week. For Latin, we are learning John 1 through 7. And I'll link below the video I've gotten this from. She's great. She does the whole song with hand motions and this really catchy tune, which I can't think of what the tune is. So if you know it, please tell me in the comments. I would love to know it. I just can't figure it out. So it's gonna start with last week. So it goes like this. In principio erat verbum, in the beginning was the word. And then this week's going to continue with et verbum erat apud Deum, and the word was with God. Et Deus erat verbum, and the word was God. So I'll do that one more time. The hand motions I'm doing when we say verbum, we're gonna open our Bible, and then when we say Deum or Deus, we're gonna point to God. So those are our hand motions so far. And then it keeps going, but I'm just gonna do last week and this week. So, in principio erat verbum, in the beginning was the word. Et verbum erat apud Deum, and the word was with God. Et Deus erat verbum, and the word was God. So for this, I'm gonna have my kids stand up and line up next to each other and really practice singing this as we do the hand motions. I think we're gonna do this as a whole CC community group at the end of at our end of the year ceremony. So I'm going to have them really practice the hand motions and the song. So that's what we're going to do for Latin. For science this week, we're going to do the atomic number. And I have this printable from Kimberly. So I'm going to read the definition to them. What is the atomic number? The atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom, which is also the number of electrons in a neutral atom. And I am going to teach them this song. I got this from Happy Learning, and it goes to the tune of Let It Snow. So it goes like this. What is the atomic number? The atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom, which is also the number of electrons in a neutral atom, the atomic number. And I thought this was interesting. I read this from the science card from Classical Conversations, that although the number of neutrons and electrons in an atom may vary, the number of protons cannot vary because the atom will no longer be the same element. So that's why the atomic number is the number of protons in a nucleus of an atom. So I thought that was interesting. And I'm also going to send home this coloring page from Etsy. I'll link below where I found this for the kids. And I'm going to probably have us sing it in some silly voices because they love this. So I'll link where I found these silly voice cards. But you could do like mouthful or opera singer or robot voice or cold voice. So they love doing silly voices for things. So we'll probably sing that song with a couple silly voices. And then for presentations this week, so I'm going to have them tell the class about something they either received or they gifted somebody else during Christmas time, and why it was a meaningful present or whatever, or why they decided to gift it to someone else. So that is because this is week 13, so right after Christmas. And then for review, I found this on Classical Conversations. And so you could look up review games and find Rockets. I'll link below exactly where I found it. But I am just going to give them a die, like a big one like this, because I have some little kids in my class. I don't want them to choke on a little one. And they're going to roll it. And let's see, whatever number they roll, I'm just going to think of some questions. I'm probably just going to bring my foundation guide so I can kind of flip through and be like, okay, for science this week, what do we do? And just ask them some questions. And then if they get it, I'm going to bring some just little M&Ms, and they get to put an M&M on the number that they rolled. So if they're able to answer the question, you know, since I have little kids, if like all of them answer it, great, we can all put an M&M in our 3. And then I'll, you know, have another kid roll, and then if they roll the same number, then they'll roll again, a different number, and then I'll ask a question and see, you know, who could answer it. So even if everybody kind of answers, I don't want it to be like a competition. Depending on the age of your kids, you can make it more of like a competition, but you could do different things with this. But I liked this idea for review this week, so we are going to do that, and I believe that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.